Hello, my name is Louise, and welcome to this week's episode of Adventures with Yarn. This is my knitting podcast, knitting and crochet podcast, where I will be talking about crafts like knitting, crochet, and other crafting that I like to do. This podcast is mainly intended for your entertainment. If you'd like to settle in with your own crafting and beverage of choice and listen to some other crafty babble, that is what this is for. Also to share the love and goodness that is knitting and crochet with the world. And likewise, feel free to comment and share what you're crafting on too. That is mainly what's going on here. So if that sounds up your alley, go ahead and subscribe. I put out one of these podcasts about every week. So this episode is going to kick off Christmas knitting. Yay! And if you are a responsible knitter, then you've probably started knitting your Christmas presents like a long time ago. I used to start knitting things for Christmas like in the summer. This year, things didn't really work out that way. And I was trying to think about it. I was like, why? Why haven't I been crafting? Like, what's been taking up all my time? Like, what did I do this year? Oh yeah, I was stitching for a long time this year, pretty much from February. Well, I guess from February to August, September, maybe, I was cross-stitching, and I was cross-stitching for my new baby niece, baby Oliviana. I cross-stitched this really intricate, ambitious project. It was a mother elephant and her baby elephant, and it took me a very long time. Like I said, it was kind of one of those cross stitches that actually wasn't, I don't think it was originally designed to be a cross stitch. I think it was originally like a photograph that someone like pixelated and put on a chart and made it so that you could cross stitch it. It's very, very intricate. There was a lot of colors. It was only like, I think it was like 12 by 14 inches, but very detailed in color. And I actually decided to do it on a 14 count Aida background because I knew the whole stitching would be, you know, there wouldn't be blank spaces, there wouldn't be empty spaces, so I didn't mind so much about the background. Like I said, it took me a long time. I gave it to my sister as a present for her baby, and then when the baby was actually born and alive, I went to go stay with my sister, and I noticed that the stitching wasn't hanging up in her nursery, and I just kind of was like, well, maybe they didn't like it, maybe, you know, who knows. My sister did pick it out, actually. I gave her some choices. She did pick it out, but actually what ended up happening was we went to the big county Fresno fair, because that's where my family lives, in Fresno, and we went there, and we're walking along, and I'm looking at all the crafts, because my mom had entered some quilts and some stitching that she did as well, so we were looking at the crafts, and I'm just kind of looking at things thinking like, oh man, you know, these are really nice to see. I could probably do some of this stuff. Why don't I ever enter anything into a fair? And all of a sudden there it is. My stitching was there on display with a first prize sticker of a ribbon. I can't quite say it was a ribbon. It was like a sticker that looked like a ribbon, but it was blue and it said first place, and I was freaking out. I was like, what the? Maybe I can dig up some footage of that. What the? Are you kidding me? But anyways, it was very, very exciting. That was a very fun experience. So anyways, that whole story to say that it is now time to catch up with Christmas knitting. So that is mainly what I'm doing. I am knitting and making things to give away as Christmas presents, and as soon as Christmas is done, or maybe even like the day of Christmas, you know, I'll be making stuff for me. I have some projects in mind, super stoked to make stuff for me. But okay, let's show you what I've been working on this week. If you have seen my previous podcast, you have seen that I was working on the Night Shift shawl, which is by Andrea Mowry. And I'm so close to being done. Not quite done, but I'm almost done. Here is the latest. And maybe I can kind of show this here. All right. So this is down at the beginning of my Night Shift shawl. It definitely is curving. It's gonna need some blocking to make it all straight. I think this area is like my favorite area so far. I really like how the colors have turned out there. If you can kind of see the pattern going along, I got the backgrounds changing and then the spotted areas changing. I was noticing every color of yarn that I chose, it's either sparkly or variegated, or both. Some are both. And then, anyways, goes up here. This most recent area, the background, I don't know if you can tell, is this brown sparkly with a blue sparkly variegated kind of yarn. So this is the second to last section. With the brown background and the blue spots. So that will grow a little bit, and then after that I'm going to keep the brown background if I have enough yarn, and then I think use the coral that is this to do some more spots against the brown at the very end, and those sections will turn out to be the longest because of how this shawl is. It's an asymmetrical triangle. And it's gonna make this kind of kerchief shawl like that. Oh, it's so pretty. I may need to make one for myself. This was just so much fun to make. It was really so much fun. All the different changes and color changes have really kept things entertaining. I was really hoping to finish this by Thanksgiving, and so I also have my little pumpkin pie progress keeper here that is so cute, but I got distracted with another project, and I figure actually I have a little bit extra time off of work, so it's kind of like my Thanksgiving break isn't quite over, so I'm gonna give myself some more time. Really, hopefully we'll finish this in the next couple days and work on blocking it and having that done. So the Night Shift shawl, so much fun and colory goodness. That is that. So I'll show you what I got distracted with. So if you watched last week's podcast, I had some Noro yarn. I think it's called Nishinki. Noro Nishinki, which is like a cotton blend, and I actually still have one of the skeins that is not rolled up into a ball like this. So Noro Nishinki. This colorway that I have in my hands is called Sundance. So I have 4 of these total, and I really could not wait to cast on. I was really pushing myself to keep on working on the Night Shift shawl because these colors are just so awesome and fun and amazing too. I find myself becoming more and more like my mother in this way, of being drawn to these like really bright colors. But hopefully even though these are really bright colors, they're still like modern and trendy, and the recipients of these presents will still really appreciate them. So I cast on with a different Noro. Here it's all in its ball. This is also, like I said, the Noro Nishinki, and this colorway in my hands is called the Borealis. And I started casting on the hat, which is, the pattern is called the Graham by Jennifer Adams. And this is what I have so far. So it just kind of stripes itself all out. And if you can kind of compare, this is how it looks like on the skein. And I mean, obviously these are two different colorways. This one, did I say, is Sundance, and this is the Borealis. And once you start knitting it up, it turns out to be this striped pattern. This kind of hat is making me very reminiscent of I don't know why I said reminiscent as if it was so long ago, but basically this is making me think of what a lot of people in Portland, Oregon. I live up here in Oregon, and up in Oregon, and a lot of people in Portland or Eugene, or the more earthy kind of towns, they wear things kind of out there, you know. It's nice to be unique and special, and if you can be earth friendly, all the better, even more. Just kind of makes me think of that. It's with this also, this cotton feeling. It's interesting. It's different, but I don't know if you can't really hardly tell, but that drape though, it drapes already like really nicely. This is going to be kind of a little bit of a slouchy beanie, and I can tell that this is going to be draping very nicely. What's interesting is when you make this pattern, you're actually knitting on the wrong side. It uses, besides the ribbing for the brim, so you've got like a 3-inch brim here, and also I think that the colors kind of like hide the texture. I probably could have gotten away with just a stockinette beanie and just let the colors, you know, be the star, do the work. But you know, I started this, I'll go ahead and finish it. But so you got your ribbing here, and then up here is actually what's called a broken rib. It is a 1x1 rib, but then the next row is just knit. So you knit one row, knit one, purl one, and then the next row is just knit, and you do that over and over, and it looks, you know, okay. But actually, like I said, you're making it on the wrong side. So really, if you flip this inside out, this is what it's actually going to look like. And of course, I took a little stitch off the needle. That is the second week in a row. Maybe I should get some needle stoppers to like stick on here. Anyways, so if you can tell, the texture is just a little bit different, cooler. It's just a little bit more interesting and appealing than on the other side. So that is that, and that is a lot of fun. So like I said, I have 4 balls of Noro, each in different colorways, and I will be making hats for Christmas, so hence the Christmas knitting. I'm going to go through and show you what I have in mind to make between now and Christmas for Christmas presents. This hat being one of them. The night shift shawl that I showed you is also for somebody. I'm hoping that I can whip these up. The 4th ball of Noro is for me, so that one will be saved for after Christmas, and I will make that then for myself. But anyways, I think this will be really fun. I also think that I may use the leftovers as a pom-pom for the top of this kind of hat. I think that might look really cool. So that is that. Some other, no, those are the only 2 whips. Those are the only 2 works in progress, WIP whips, that I have to show you this week. So the rest is pretty much planning, my plans for Christmas. while we're talking about Noro, I'll show you this. So basically, I showed you this last week. This is also Noro in the Kagayake, which is also like another cotton blend of Noro. So I will be turning this into a hat. It's just a little bit different than the set of the Nishinki hats. So we're making 3 Nishinki hats and one of these separate different hat, but that will also be made into a hat. I also showed you last week the sparkly goodness. That is Madeline Tosh. I think it's Merino Light. Yeah, Tosh Merino Light plus hollow glitter. So this will be, oh gosh, I know I did my fair share gushing over this kind of thing last week, but still it's just like, oh my gosh. So this will be made into a hat as well that I'm thinking with like a faux fur pom-pom on top of this. So that will be a hat. So I got a couple hats to make. So that is what I was showing you. That is the yarn that I showed you last week. I have added more yarn into the stash. Yeah, I have a problem, you guys. I keep saying that I'm gonna stop buying yarn and use what I have out of my stash, which I'm intending to do. I am intending to bust my stash, use what I have, make room for other more luxurious yarns, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But oh geez, I find stuff online and I find stuff at the store and I just can't help myself, and it happens. But okay, this time the excuse is Black Friday. I came across yarn at the Black Friday sale. My husband and his sister wanted to check out the Guitar Center, and the Guitar Center happens to be at the same mall area location as Michael's, and you know, what's a girl to do? So I said, you know, you guys go look at that stuff, and I'll just be over here. I'll just be over here at Michael's, and you can find me there. Oh my gosh, you guys, they had sales. I think that I might have, if not for the Black Friday sales, I would have spent like 50 bucks on yarn, but instead my total turned out to be like 30 bucks. Was amazing. I'll show you what I got. So we have, now these are all like yarns you find at Michael's. They're not like wool or cashmere nylon or special things like that, but they are still really nice. So this is called Facet Stones, and this, yes, it is acrylic, but it's really soft. And the colors, you guys, look at these colors. I think I'm going to make another hat as well for a Christmas present, and maybe like, I think like this one would need like a white faux fur pom-pom would look really pretty on this, and it is really soft. So that is that one. I got this in another colorway as well. Let's see here. Oh, and the colorway of this one is called Quartz. That is Quartz. All right. And this one, how pretty is that, you guys? I would totally wear this if I wasn't making this for someone else. This one is called Pearl. And it, again, it is really soft, really pretty. I mean, a white faux fur pom-pom would go good with this too. Basically, if you haven't caught the trend, it's hats. Knitted hats are being made for Christmas for loved ones. That is that. But actually, there are also going to be some shawls being made for people. So this, oh, and by the way, I got these on sale. These are normally like 8 bucks. I got them each for $5. $5, $5, yes. This yarn is called Copenhagen. You guys, how squishy is this? So these are normally also like $8, and I got them on sale. I have 2 of them. I got them on sale for $5 as well. Look at this big old amount of yarn. I mean, this is, how many yards? This is 131 yards of yarn for $5. So this one in particular, it is a super bulky weight, which will be knit up fast and quick. I'll either knit or crochet this into like a scarfy cowl type situation. This color is called Tea Cozy. So that is fun. Going to be made for somebody. And then its little partner is this colorway, which is called Stardew. And as you can see, this has more blues and purples, also very soft, very cozy, super bulky weight. This also is going to be knit or crocheted up into a long, like, infinity scarf cowl situation there. So that is my intention with that one. We have also some Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. It gives me a kick to say Woolies because I used to babysit a kid who would end up calling me Woolies instead of Louise. He would call me Woolies. Anyways, so Woolies Thick and Quick, again, super bulky weight. Yes, super bulky weight. Something to make thick and quick. I have intentions with this. You know what I want to make with this? I want to make a Katniss Everdeen shawl, cowl, scarf thing. If you are familiar with the Hunger Games, I think it was like on one of the last movies. I want to say To Kill a Mockingjay. That can't be right. I think maybe it's just Mockingjay. Anyways, if you're familiar with the series and seen the movie, she wears this like this huntress cowl, and it kind of like goes across the shoulders, but then kind of like across, like a sash across her body. So something to kind of keep cozy, maybe your shoulders and just kind of across the body. This will be really interesting though. This will be really interesting to make. And the recipient is that kind of person that could pull that off. So that will be another Christmas present idea there. So that is my intention with that. The last Black Friday sale yarn that I have here is some more Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. Very nice stuff to make, by the way. One of my favorite projects actually with Woolies Thick and Quick is if you have like 2 balls of it and some circular needles. There is, I think it's the Gaptastic. Yeah, it is. The Gaptastic cowl. It's just a moss stitch, which is knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and then the next row is the opposite. So you're purling your knits and knitting your pearls, I guess you could say, and just goes round and round and round and makes this really cute scarf, but cowl, makes this really cute cowl. Or infinity scarf, I guess. But the thing is I've made enough of those for people in past Christmases. Oh, this would make a really pretty one too. You know what I gotta do? I gotta make stuff for myself. I gotta make this wonderful stuff for myself. But first, Christmas, I think I'm going to turn this into a hat. Another hat. Yes. Just because it will be nice and quick and still super cute though. The ratio of cuteness to quickness will not leave the recipient wanting. It will still be as cute as it will be quick to make. So that is the intentions here. This is the color Carousel. I just think this is super cute. So that will also be made into a hat. And then I think that is my Black Friday haul. I'm gonna take a drink here. I've got some hot chocolate here to celebrate kicking off Christmas knitting. My big old mug. Anyways, while we were out Black Friday shopping, we stopped by Fry's Electronics, if you're familiar. I don't think that they are everywhere in the country that is America, but they are in some places. And there is one up near Portland, and my husband is really big into tech. So we stopped by there and we saw something that caught our eye. And what it is a Bluetooth beanie. And yeah, basically this is a beanie with a little Bluetooth headset inside of it. You stick it on your head. Let's pull this out here. So we chose this kind of dark charcoal gray. This is for my husband. He was really cute. He asked me if I would be like offended that he would buy this. There were actually some other ones that looked like hand knit stuff. There were like ones that looked knitted and cabled. But they just were like really thin. You can just kind of tell they were like machine made. He asked me if I would be offended if he bought this, and actually like it's kind of sad because I said, you know, actually I'm not offended because I've only made my husband Joshua like one hat, and it was crocheted and it doesn't fit him too well. He's kind of has a big head. I mean that in the best way. But I was like, you know, no, I'm not offended. Go ahead and get it. That sounds cool. Just get it. And what he brought up to me is that we could potentially finagle with this thing, and we could probably buy some of these or buy just the electronics and like rip them out and put them in something that I knit up, like my own knitted beanie. I think I kind of forgot to describe this thing. Basically, so there's a headphone in here, like a little speaker on this side. At least I think that's what it is. And then over here, once you connect it up to your phone via Bluetooth, you have some buttons here to increase volume, decrease volume, and then a play and stop button there too. And it's not just music you can listen to. Apparently, let's look at the box here. Apparently you can take phone calls, and also activate Google Assistant. So if you are, you know, like, hey Google, what's the weather today? Or, you know, like all those kinds of things that you might ask Google or Siri or Alexa, all those things. So that was intriguing. That's intriguing. If you want to see a more detailed review of this, my husband Joshua actually has his own YouTube channel. It's called Man Cave Technology, and he is going to do an in-depth review on this beanie. And you know what will be interesting? I wonder if he will review how well it stays on his head, because I have a pretty funny picture of him wearing this out in public where it kind of started slipping off his head a little bit. Anyways, so this is very interesting, very intriguing. And we found this while we were out Black Friday shopping. So that's that. Bluetooth beanie, you guys. The future is here. I really think it'd be really cool to stitch in the electronics needed for this into like something of our own, like handmade beanies and stuff like that. So that is that right there. Okay, so I've saved the best thing to talk about for last. Take a sip here, just okay, so I may have mentioned in a previous episode that I've been waiting for yarn to come across the seas, across the ocean from England to me, and it finally came. All right, so I bought yarn from Stranded Dye Works. Stranded Dye Works, if you're not familiar, is you would call her an indie dyer, is this wonderful, amazing, awesome person named Amy. She has a podcast on YouTube, and you can find her as Amy Florence on the Stranded Dye Work podcast. And she makes this really entertaining podcast, and she also hand dyes her own yarn. And she had a sale to celebrate her, I think it was her podcast 3-year anniversary, and it also kind of fell like near her birthday, so she had this big sale, and then tied that in with the Dunder Knit Along, which is a knit along by Caroline from the Dunder Knit podcast, Living Vicariously, in which she has encouraged / enabled others to just cast on, do what you will, do what makes you happy, forget about your obligation knitting, that kind of stuff, which I could bring myself to do to an extent. Basically, my extent was I will allow myself to purchase this wonderful, beautiful yarn with the intent of making myself things after Christmas. I'm still going to work on my Christmas knitting that I just showed you, all that goodness. But I want to make myself a sweater. And I knew about the sale going on at the Stranded Dye Works website. So I made sure to be like there on the dot when the sale dropped. Like I was there. I bought my stuff, and I'll show you what I got. And it came in the mail. Finally. So this is called Midnight Sun. And if you can tell, this is like a purpley gray or grayish purple. It's like this muted, nice purpley color. I just think this would be so yummy to wrap myself up in as a sweater. So this is on her 100% superwash DK yarn. Midnight Sun. So I have a sweater's quantity worth of this yarn that I bought from her, which I will be using to make myself a wonderful, beautiful sweater. I cannot wait. So I bought some other things as well. This is called Naughty List, and I feel like one of the cool kids, you guys. I've seen this around on other podcasts. I've seen people making vlogs about Rhinebeck and using this, and it is festive and fun. This is on a fingering weight yarn, which is perfect for socks, so I'm gonna plan on making myself a pair of socks out of this. And you guys, it's really soft. It's really, really soft. This is on her merino nylon cashmere yarn. I wish I could describe in better words to you guys how soft this feels. It feels really, really, really soft. So that is Naughty List, and I'll be making myself some socks out of that. And then I meant to do some research before I started filming today's podcast on how to pronounce the colorway of this one, because you look at it and it looks like it should be nugget, like what's inside of a Snickers bar or something. So nugget. It's Nougat, but I feel like, I swear that I watched Amy's podcast right before the sale dropped in her shop, and she was like showing all the colors, and this is this and that is that, and I feel like she pronounced it a different way, like something more French sounding, like nougat or something like that. But I, like I said, I meant to do a little research, but the problem with filming on your iPhone is once we get it set up on the little stand there, it's, you know, can't very easily just Google it. Although I suppose if I had this hooked up to my own phone, I could have just stuck this on my head and asked Google, how do you pronounce nugget? I don't know. Anyways, so this is also her merino nylon cashmere yarn, fingering weight, to make some socks. Ooh, you guys, the pinks. There are pale pinks and a little bit darker medium pinks and some kind of brownish speckles in there too. That's just a lot of fun. Gonna be a lot of just velvety goodness is what it feels like. It feels really nice. So I bought one of these in the naughty list, and like I said, a sweater's quantity. So I got like about 4 of these, so I can make kind of a nice loose sweater. And of course I wouldn't mind any leftovers. I'll turn them into hats. Oh, so pretty. So I got these for Amy's sale at her shop. She said that the first 50 customers, or the first 50 individuals to place orders, would be getting a little something special. And I couldn't tell if I had gotten it or not. What she was going to put was a mini skein of yarn into the different packages. And I'm trying to remember now. She had 3 different colors, and I don't know if she had the names of each of them. I think she might have had some, but when I placed my order, I couldn't tell, like, am I one of the first 50? I don't know. And then when my like confirmation email came, it didn't say that a little mini skein was in there or not. And I thought, oh, well, you know, I still have my yarn. I should be appreciative. You guys, I got it. I was one of the first 50, apparently. Yes. So, I got the super cute little mini skein. And these little mini skeins are perfect, or so I'm told, perfect for making like contrasting toes and heels of socks. And whoo, I'm so glad I got this one too. There were 2 other colorways that I could have gotten, but it's pink. And she didn't really have a name for this, which makes me wonder if it's kind of more like a one-of-a-kind, just kind of, you know, from the mind of Amy Florence. And I mean, who could ask for anything more? It's pink and speckly on different places and different tones of pink, and I'm super stoked. I was really super stoked to get that. So that will be very interesting. I have some other yarn on the way from another hand dyer in England, who also has her own podcast. That would be Biff Sugar Yarns, that I'm very excited about. And oh, also, I did check out Madeline Tosh's Black Friday sale, which they did have some yarn on sale, so I'll have some of that arriving in the mail too. I know, you guys, it's bad. This is an addiction to yarn, and I have it. I just can't stop. So I have that all coming to me in the mail. All right, so that wraps up this Christmas knitting episode. I didn't even get a chance to talk about what else I was gonna knit. Real quick, I also am intending on knitting up some washcloths. If you ever go and see like cotton yarn, they have like cheap cotton yarn at like Walmart and stuff. It knits up very nicely if you make a square or crochet. Knit or crochet a little square of it, and it makes these really nice washcloths. And that feel really nice. Like, people really appreciate it. I've made them a couple years, different colors, different sets. And from what I hear, that my friends and family really like them. That they feel really nice, like as a body washcloth. What's also fun to give with those is like melt and pour soaps. So if you get like molds at craft stores and buy the melt and pour soap base, you can cut that stuff up, put it in the microwave so that it melts, and then pour it into the molds. And then you can add things. You can add different colors or scents, which you can also buy at the craft stores, or even like I think I put like ground up coffee beans once in some soap, or like oatmeal and honey, which is actually really nice, make some good soap. And this is like really basic soap making too. Like I said, melt and pour. This is not what some people call the cold process soap, where they're actually like using lye and like legitimately like making soap. It's very simple, but like kind of like making hats out of the Wool-Ease yarn. The ratio of quickness to cuteness is good. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. It is as cute as it is quick. Doesn't look like something cheapo, you know. It's a really nice thing. I'll have to show you next time I make some, but it's really nice to do. Make a little melt and pour soap and kind of just like stack that on top of some hand knitted, hand crocheted washcloths out of cotton yarn. Tie those up with like some twine. It's super cute. So that is another Christmas craft that is on my agenda to be making. All right, guys, I really hope that you appreciated and found this episode to be as fun as I did. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, I will be putting these episodes out each Monday. This is for your entertainment and just to put these things out here, to share the love and the crafting, and I would love to hear and see what you are crafting on also. So go ahead and feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. All right, thanks guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.